During the Great Depression of 1929, like many men, my grandfather was out of work. In addition to her homemaker duties, my grandmother did what she could to help keep the family going. She often told me how she would wake at 4:30 each morning to bake bread for the family and then walk 2 miles to work in a silk mill for an 8-hour shift, earning barely enough to keep the family roof over their heads. During the day, she left my grandfather in charge of the house and their 3 little boys. The story goes that on her arrival home one evening, she found the baby of the brood in his high chair, simultaneously screaming, laughing, and crying. It appeared he had been sitting there for quite some time. My grandfather was sitting at the kitchen table in front of his wailing son, waving a rolled-up newspaper that he had lit on fire in a vain attempt to entertain the little guy. Why was the baby crying? His diaper needed changing, and my grandfather did not want to do it. There was no way he was going to go out of his comfort zone to confront changing a smelly, nasty, yucky load. It could wait until my grandmother came home, hence the entertaining diversion. He did not want to deal with something he did not want to deal with. Women deal. We do it all the time. We plan, carry out our plans, contrive new plans, and often cope with things we had not planned to do in the first place. We do what needs to be done. We try to do this all seamlessly, on many fronts, like a well-choreographed ballet. Now, to any male reading this, before you get your boxers all up in a bunch, this is not an attempt at man-shaming. But, in my observation, and all too often, when faced with something they just flat out don't want to do, men become, well, boys. Ask them to change their schedule or do something they don't like, and they dodge, avoid, and sometimes even pout. By contrast, women deal. We figure it out and we deal. We just do. In fact, it's what we do best. We hesitate to ask for help, and therein lies the trouble. We often think of ourselves last, not first, and sometimes get so tired and frustrated we want to explode. So what do? Do we stop being helpmates? Do we try to force men to see how much we do and get them to help more? Do we hold classes for them and unveil the secrets of how to do 20 things all at the same time? Now there's an idea. Circumstances for each of us are different. For the overworked, overscheduled, overburdened, and overwhelmed woman, there's nothing wrong with asking for assistance. For example, my husband's job each night is to clean up the kitchen and do the dishes. He also empties out the dishwasher, which I hate doing, and he takes the trash cans to the curb each week. He loves to joke that he is contributing his 10%. Truly, like many men, he contributes much more than that to the partnership. But he seems to lack the balancing act skills required to keep everything around him running like clockwork. So let's give a good acknowledgement to ourselves. Women deal, and we do it well. It's one of our greatest strengths and an actual superpower. This superior ability to multitask helps us do what we need to do to win the battles of the day. It is what makes us the superwomen that we are. Wonder Woman is not just a mythical figure. With our bracelets and golden lassos in hand, we deal.